Imagine a disease so deadly that it wiped out nearly half of Europe's population. Streets filled with the dead, villages abandoned, and entire cities reduced to ghost towns. Historians call it the Black Death, the deadliest pandemic of the Middle Ages. But what if it wasn't just a natural disaster? What if someone, or something, was behind it? For centuries, we've been told that the Black Death was caused by a bacterium called Yersinia pestis, spread by fleas on rats. But during the outbreak, people didn't have the luxury of modern science. They searched for their own explanations, and what they found was terrifying. Whispers of a deliberate plot spread like the disease itself. Some said the plague was not an accident. Some believed it was a weapon. Rumors of well poisonings, secret societies, and even early forms of biological warfare fueled mass paranoia. But were these just desperate attempts to make sense of a horrifying reality, or is there evidence that something more sinister was at play? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might change everything you thought you knew about the Black Death. The Black Death struck Europe in 1347 and spread at an unimaginable speed. It killed an estimated 25 to 50 million people, nearly wiping out entire civilizations. But something strange happened. Before the disease even reached some towns, panic was already brewing. People believed the plague was being spread intentionally, and soon, they had their suspects. By 1348, a terrifying rumor had taken hold across Europe. Someone was poisoning the wells. Many believed this was the true cause of the plague. And who did people blame? Outsiders, foreigners, and, most tragically, Jewish communities. Across Europe, Jews were accused of orchestrating the plague by contaminating water supplies. Under torture, some falsely confessed to crimes they didn't commit, claiming they had received poisoned powder from secret groups. As a result, thousands of innocent people were brutally executed. Entire Jewish communities were burned alive, their homes destroyed, and their possessions seized. But was this accusation based on any real evidence, or was it a calculated way to shift blame? Some historians argue that the well-poisoning accusations were politically motivated. The ruling class was desperate to control an increasingly angry population. Cities were falling apart, economies were collapsing, and the fear of rebellion was growing. What better way to unite the people than to give them an enemy to blame? But what if the conspiracy wasn't just paranoia? What if someone really was using the plague as a weapon? And before we dive even deeper into the darker possibilities, take a moment to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive like this. If you're fascinated by history's mysteries and hidden conspiracies, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's continue. We know that biological warfare wasn't unheard of in the medieval world. In 1346, a year before the plague entered Europe, the Mongols laid siege to the city of Kaffa, a major trade hub in Crimea. As the Mongol army was struck down by disease, they did something shocking. They catapulted their plague-ridden corpses over the city walls, infecting the people inside. This may have been the first recorded instance of biological warfare. Could the same strategy have been used elsewhere? If that wasn't enough, some theories suggest that secretive groups, or even the ruling elite, may have had something to gain from the pandemic. The Black Death wiped out a huge portion of the working-class population. In the years that followed, wages increased, and the balance of power shifted. Could someone have seen the plague as an opportunity for social and economic control? Other researchers point to strange accounts from the time, reports of mysterious figures in black cloaks seen visiting villages right before the outbreak arrived. Some say these were plague doctors, but others believe they were something else entirely, agents of a larger, hidden agenda. And then there's the strangest theory of them all, the idea that the Black Death didn't come from Earth at all. Some believe that a passing comet or an extraterrestrial event may have introduced the deadly pathogen to our world. Ancient records describe unusual weather patterns, strange lights in the sky, and even reports of a miasma, a toxic vapor, spreading through the air right before outbreaks. Could this have been an early form of chemical or biological warfare launched from beyond our planet? Adding to the mystery, some records describe people falling sick without any contact with infected individuals, leading some researchers to speculate that the plague could have been airborne or even spread intentionally through unknown means. Strange occurrences like these have led some to believe that the true cause of the Black Death is still hidden from us. There's also the question of how fast the plague spread. Traditional explanations focus on trade routes, fleas, and rats, but some reports suggest that entire towns were struck down overnight. How could that happen? Was it simply a more aggressive form of Yersinia pestis, or was something else accelerating its spread? And then there's the strange case of the people who seemed immune. Some accounts mention certain groups or individuals who, for reasons unknown, never caught the disease, even when surrounded by the infected. Could this suggest a targeted approach? A selective weapon? Or just coincidence? Even today, there are still unanswered questions about the Black Death. Scientists continue to study its origins, some even debating whether Yersinia pestis alone could have caused such devastation. With modern DNA analysis, we're learning more about this dark chapter in history, but could there still be secrets buried with the millions who perished? Of course, the mainstream explanation remains the same. The Black Death was a naturally occurring pandemic, spread through fleas and unsanitary conditions. But history is full of secrets, and the deeper you dig, the more questions arise. So, what do you think? Was the Black Death just an unfortunate tragedy, or was there something more sinister at play? Could it have been a calculated act of biological warfare? A secret plot by the elite? Or even something beyond human understanding? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love diving into hidden history and mysterious conspiracies, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. There's always more to uncover, and together, we'll keep K.